take a wild guess what tomorrow's quiz is going to be over? Law of Cosines. So let's do a practice problem. This is not in your notes. I don't know, you can do it over to the side or on the desk or somewhere. Tomorrow you're going to get a paper that looks very much like the one you just got. It's going to say solve the triangle. And you, of course, will need to find C and H and S, the missing pieces. Okay, this is tomorrow. This looks kind of the same, but it's not a law of sines situation. Does anyone remember how I know it's not a law of sines situation, Matt? Well, yeah. So, yes. Always side angle side is going to be law of cosines. What kind of practical reason, Marita?
The angle inside,
there's not a match set. That's right. If you're going to do the law of sines, you have to have this pair, or this pair, or this pair. And we don't have any pair. So if we set up the law of sines, we would have too many variables in our proportion. So we're going to do the law of cosines. And the only angle we have is 37. So in the law of cosines, which is that big long equation, out here it's going to say cosine 37, right? Which automatically means if I put 37 on that end, then I'm going to put c squared on this end. Whatever angle you put on that end, the side is what's over here all by itself on this end. Now, what's in the middle? 10 squared plus, don't forget the plus, 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12. That's it exactly. So we can type that in on our calculator. You guys didn't even notice I'm wearing my heart jumper today.
I noticed.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, we break the heart jumper out a couple times a year. So, you know, it's a special day.
You have a Christmas one?
All right, so 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12 times cosine 37. Now, I typed all that in, and I got a number that's not the answer because now I have to square root it. And remember, an easy way to square root is raised to the 0.5 power. That's square rooting, raising to the 1/2 power. So that's what I do. I just raise it to the 0.5 power. And C turns out to be 7.23. I did square root it. Yep.
So square rooting by 0.5 is the same as multiplying by 1/2?
No. Raising to the 1/2 power is square rooting. Square root is 1/2 power.
Okay.
So that's what I do. I raise it to the 1/2 power. You can use your square root button, whatever flips your switch.
I'm coming under and plus.
Now, where do I go from here? You're not done. You got one answer. How do we proceed now? Now, do you see the pair you have? So now we can do the law of sines. So sine 37 over 7.23 equals sine S over 10. Now, I did S. Could I have done H over 12? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Pick one. So cross multiplying 7.23 sine S equals 10 sine 37. This is not separatable. That's your variable. You can't split that up. So we're going to divide by 7.23. So sine S equals 10 sine 37 over 7.23. Now, this will happen. I guarantee it. Some kid's going to type this in. It's going to be some decimal. And you're going to write that down in the answer blank. That is not the answer. That's the sign. How do I get S? What buttons do I have to press to get the angle? Second sign. Remember, kids, you don't want sine S. You want angle S. So to get the angle, you have to second sign. Always, always, always. So second sign that fraction. And that will give you your angle. Second sign. 10 sine 37 divided by 7.23. I got 56.34. Did you?
That does up to subtract from 180.
Exactly. If you just plain love math and you just want to do more math, you could repeat that process for angle H. Would you agree? But it would be so much easier to follow Olivia's advice and just add these up and subtract from 180. And 86.66 is H. That is tomorrow's quiz. Anyone have a question about anything I did there?
Is it just gonna be one triangle?
One triangle. Just have to start off with the law of cosines, and then to finish the problem, you can use the law of sines. Somebody said that's easy. You are right. It is easy. All right, let's finish our notes. We're almost done. Let's finish our notes so we can start practicing for our test. I put the test in Power School this morning. I think it's next Wednesday, but you want to check that date for sure.
Do we get free time today, since we're almost done?
All right, here we go. Number 2, we are on page 43 of our notes. Page 43 of our notes. And we are going to find the area of a parallelogram.
Yeah.
So everybody remembers what a parallelogram looks like. The sides are 14 and 16. So we remember that opposite sides are congruent. There's 2 diagonals. Clearly, one of them is shorter than the other one. So I'm going to draw, there's 2 angles. This is about angles. There's 2 angles. Clearly, this one is smaller than this one. This is an acute angle. That's an obtuse angle. So I'm going to make that 48. And then I need to find the area of that.
Can you split it from one point?
Oh, can we draw in a diagonal and split that figure into triangles? Yes, that's what we want to do. Because yesterday we talked about how to find areas of triangles. Who remembers one of our strategies for finding areas of triangles?
Side, side, side.
1/2 side, side, sine, and that's the one we want here. Don't I have 2 sides and the included angle? So the area of the triangle, not the answer to the question, but the area of the triangle is 1/2 side, side, sine of included angle. Remember, when you use 1/2 side, side, sine, the angle has to be between the sides. So, I'll type it in. Everybody's got a calculator. I wish you were all typing with me to make sure you know what you're doing. I got 83.23. Did you? Okay, but wait. Do I want to write that down? No. That's the area of this triangle. So what am I going to do to get the area of the whole parallelogram? Just on my calculator. I'm not rounding anything off. I'm not retyping anything. I'm just hitting times 2. And it should be, so the area of the parallelogram is 166.46 square centimeters. 1/2 side sine. You okay with that? All right, question 3. Draw that same parallelogram, but now we're going to find the length of the longer diagonal. All right, so let me draw my parallelogram again. So this is 14 and 16. And this is 48, and this is 48. Remember, opposite angles are congruent. And I want the longer diagonal, so that would be this one. Would you agree with me? I'm gonna call that X. I'm not doing area, I'm finding the length. Now, there is an assumption that lots of people make when they look at this situation, and it is wrong. The diagonals of a parallelogram do not bisect the angles. So if you were thinking, oh, we'll just make these 24s, you would be wrong. That doesn't work that way. The only time the diagonals get bisected is if you have a rhombus, and we clearly do not have a rhombus. So, what am I going to do?
14 squared.
Pythagorean theorem?
Oh.
Do I have a right angle?
No.
No. No Pythagorean theorem unless you have a right triangle. What do you know about this angle and this angle?
They're
Supplementary. They're same side interior angles. These are parallel lines cut by a transversal. Oh, are you breaking out into a rash from geometry class? Parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are supplementary. So if that angle is 48, this one is 132. Now, I'm going to get some of this extraneous stuff out of here because I want you to look at what you've got. Look at this top triangle. You want to find this side. You going to use the law of sines or the law of cosines? Cosines. The angle is 132. So the side would be x squared. And what's all the stuff in the middle then? 16 squared plus 14 squared times 16 times 14. I hear somebody back there contributing. So we'll type her in. Don't forget to square root. I got 27.42. Tell me if you did. That would not be square centimeters, that would be plane centimeters. This isn't an area, this is a length of a diagonal. Everybody okay with that? One more. Find the area of a regular pentagon inscribed in a circle of 28 inches. Okay, it's a regular pentagon. So let's draw our circle. How many hash marks do I need this time? 5. As evenly spaced as I can. Connect the dots. There's my pentagon. And the radius, so let's go to a vertex here. The radius is 28. We did one just like this the other day. Can you remember what our strategy was? Okay. I don't really even need all of them. I'm just going to draw this one in. I can draw them all in. Doesn't matter. They're all 28, right?
Then you got two sides that are 28.
Now, how did we find this angle right here? That's the key.
360 divided by 5.
360 divided by 5. It's 360 all the way around, and there's 5 of them. So what is that, 72? Now we want the area, right? Yeah, we want the area. So the area of the triangle is 1/2, 28, 28, sine 72. So I'll figure that out. So 1/2, 28 times 28 times sine 72. And then multiply that by 5. Because when I do this, this is just the triangle, right? So the answer, the area of the Pentagon, ooh, I got 1864.07. Is that what you got?
Yep.
Square inches.
So how do we find this side of the angle? I missed that part. Where we found the 72 in that triangle?
Mm-hmm. How did we get 72? This is 360 divided up into 5 parts.
Okay, just 365.
Yep. Put your hand up, James Wayne, or what?
Oh, yeah, my bad. It says a regular pentagon. Would there ever be like an irregular pentagon?
Irregular Pentagon changes the game because then you can't find that angle. So no, they'll be regular figures. Ah, life is great. Let's get our practice tests out and start in. I put it in, I think it's Wednesday, but I can't remember, sometimes it's a Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. If you check Power School, you can see it. All right, here we go. Practice test number 1. We are starting off with the tough stuff. So here we go. Sine cubed plus sine cosine squared. And you're going to simplify that.
Take sine out.
Exactly. Now, kids, you have a cube. I want you to stop and think about all the things you memorized. Did any of the things you memorized have cubes in them?
No.
No. So you've got to think, okay, I can't use those yet. I have to do something first. So Olivia looked at this and said, look, I got a sign here and a sign here. I'm going to take out the sign. So if I took out one sign, what would I have left here? Sine? I'd have sine squared. And if I took this out, I'd have cosine squared. What's that? 1. So what's the answer to the question?
Sine.
Sine. You have to put the X. You have to write the X or you take off points. And some of you discovered that. All right, what in the heck? Cotangent divided by cosecant. Normally, I write them out long ways, right? This one's written like this. That's weird. But what do? Don't we change them into fractions? So this will be cosine over sine divided by 1 over sine. How do I handle fraction divided by fraction? I invert and multiply, right? So this literally says cosine over sine divided by 1 over sine. So I'm going to turn that over. Cosine over sine times sine over 1. I'm going to turn it into a multiplication problem because that's what we do when we divide fractions. Now they cancel, and the answer to this problem is cosine. Now you can't get freaked out by those problems, okay? The rest of the test is law of sines, law of cosines, and area. That's easy stuff. So don't get bogged down in these. These are not hard, but some of you struggle a little with them. Okay, do the best you can and move on, because the rest of this you can nail. The rest of this I know you can get perfect with. If you practice, I know you can do it. So let's look at this triangle. It says solve the triangle. So the first decision you have to make, and Olivia's already made it for us, but you know you're going to jump in with either the law of sines or cosines, right? Now I see a pair right here, so that's just going to be a sine problem. But I also see two angles, so I'm going to go ahead and find that third angle real quick. That's guaranteed points, kids. That's worth the same as all the other answers. So get those guaranteed points. All right, so we got a 62 there, whatever it was, okay. All right, now, where do we go from here to start finding sides? Sine 50, yep, sine 50 over 16 equals sine 68 over A. Now, everybody understands that's A, right? That's A. So make sure that goes in the A blank when we get an answer. All right, so A sine 50 equals 16 sine 68. What am I dividing by? Sine 50. So 16 sine 68 divided by sine 50. Now yesterday I had kids asking me, Mrs. Ford, sometimes we second sign, sometimes we regular sign. How do we know if we're regular signing or second signing? If the variable is the angle, you're going to second. Is this an angle? No, I know all my angles. I'm just going to type that in. So 16 sine 68 divided by sine 50. I got 19.37. You okay with that? All right. What happens next? Right, do the same thing. Repeat the process. Only do the angle 62. So sine 50 over 16 equals sine 62 over C. I hear everybody turning the page. Are you ahead of me already?
Yeah.
Of course you are. 16 sine 62 divided by sine 50. Did you get 18.44? So that problem is done. Anybody have a question about that? Okay. So now we got another triangle to solve. So we got two triangles to solve here. We got one of them done. Now we got the other one to do. All right, let's look at it. We know no angles.
Hero's formula.
Now, somebody said Hero's formula.
Yeah, that
Okay, now wait. What does Hero's formula find for me? Area. Does this question say find the area? No. If it did, I would definitely do Hero's formula. This is find an angle or a side, in this case an angle. When you need to find angles and sides, you need the law of sines or the law of cosines. This is gonna have to be cosines because we don't have a pair. Doesn't matter which one we find, which one do you wanna find?
E,
F?
E,
Well, no, somebody, Schlebecker said F, so we're gonna go with F. So we're gonna find angle F. Now, I'm using the law of cosines, and I'm involving angle F. So out here to the side, it's gonna say cosine F. Which means what's over here? 10 squared. I'm gonna go ahead and put 100 if that's okay. All right. Now, what goes here in the middle? 12 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 12 times 16.
Why is it just those two angles not, like how do you know which two angles there is? There's like two sides that are around. What do you?
Yes. It's the one that's not over here. So since I'm finding angle F, the 10 is over here. So that's all the other two sides. Now this is a little harder to type in, so be careful. I've got my 100. I got 400. Are you going to subtract 400 and 384? No, you cannot do that. Peyton, you cannot subtract these, all right? Nobody is subtracting those. So I'm going to subtract the 400, and I'm going to divide. The negatives will cancel, so I'm not going to write them down. And I have this. You got a not second sign, you got a second cosine, don't you? We're gonna second cosine, because this is a cosine problem. So second cosine, 300 divided by 384. I got 38.62. Boys and girls, if you type in 300 divided by 384, you get 0.78. I hope it makes sense to you that this angle is not 0.78, right? You need to second cosine that. Don't just type in the decimal. Everybody get 38.62? All right, where do we go from here? This is like a quiz tomorrow. What's the next step?
Sign the law of sines.
Now we're going to do the law of sines. So we'll say sine 38.62 divided by 10 equals sine D over 12, for example. Am I going to second again? Yep, I surely am. Only this time, Schlebecker, I am going to second sign, right? Did you get 48.50? And 92.88. Everybody okay? Alright, so what have we done so far? We did our simplifying with our memorization. We've solved two triangles using the law of sines and cosines. And now we have a little section that says how many triangles are possible. Now, what are the possible answers?
1, 0.
0, 1, or 2, right. So your answer is always going to be one of those. So let's draw a picture of the first problem and see if we can remember how to do this.
Do law of sines.
Yep. Now, does everybody see, when you look at this problem, do you see a pair right here? So we're going to jump in and do the law of sines. So, here we go. Am I going to have to second on this one? Yes. So I'm going to second sine 12 sine 61 over 14. All right, that should be fine. Let's see if I get an answer. Do you remember sometimes you get error messages? This one didn't work?
I'm saying.
No,
you said
the error
it
message.
Oh,
doesn't-
yeah. So if I get an error message, that means there are no triangles. I did not get an error message. In fact, I got 48.56. So then over here to the side, I'm going to ask myself, could I redraw the triangle and have a different angle C here? How do I get that second answer to check it? Subtract it from 180, exactly. So it would be 131.44. So I got my first angle by just using my law of sines. That's fine. Now, if there's two answers, the second answer will be 180 minus the first one. 180 minus the first one. So 180 minus the first one is 131. Does that triangle make sense? No, because this is too much, isn't it? So that one didn't work, so this has one answer. One triangle possible.
So do we have to put like just
You
one? Or
write
do we
one.
Okay, so one triangle possible.
In the answer blank, it says how many triangles are possible. You write one. Now, it does say show work, because random guessing doesn't count, so you need to show some kind of work. And what my eyeballs will be searching for is this angle and this one. So make sure you write those down, so I can see you have a legitimate answer. All right, that's not so bad. You get to do another one just like that. Let's try again. Is this going to be done exactly the same way?
Yep.
So sine 52 over 6 equals sine C over 10.
No. Yeah.
What's the matter? You guys are really fast. So we second sine 10 sine 52 over 6. And you said that's an error message? If it is, what does that mean I write in the answer blank? 0. Yep. So that one's a 0. Anybody have a question about that? Don't want the speed demons to rush us through too fast. Anybody have a question there? We're good? All right, there's one more. The fun just never ends. So sine 68 over 19 equals sine C over 20. These are all done exactly the same way, right guys? We're just interested in what happens right here. What does that angle turn out to be? So are we second signing 20 sine 68 over 19? Please don't be bored out of your minds, folks. We're getting ready for a test. And after the last one, some of you really need to get a good grade. And this one is doable. This one you should all get really good grades on. Did you get 77.42? No? Yeah? Now, what do I have to remember to do? Check the second one, right? So is it possible to have a second answer, which would be 180 minus the first one? So this would be 102.58. Can you have a 68 in the same triangle with a 102?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, you can. As long as it's less than 180, you're good. So how many triangles does this one have? 2. Because both of these angles are acceptable. It's not like what happened in that other example. If this were to come out to be 152, then you would say no. But it came out to be 102, so that's fine. How do I get this angle again? 180 minus the one that's on my calculator. Okay, so we got a section on the test that is simplify with your definitions and all that. We have a section on the test that says solve the triangle. You're going to do law of sines for one of them, law of cosines for the other one. Then we got a section that says how many triangles are possible. All right, what's next? Find the area. So now we got a section that says find the area. What?
Is it also possible just to think of it as like when you're trying to find how many triangles there are, to just do the adjacent to the angle, sine angle, and then all over whatever the opposite side is? Like, will that always work?
Here you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because basically all you need to do
Like
here is
skipping-
times the 20
like
over.
skipping that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now we're finding the area. I want you to look at the 3 problems in the find the area section.
Don't have a pair.
There's that one. There's this one. And there's this one. I got them out of order here. This is A, B, and C. Now, 2 of the problems, you guys, are going to be no-brainers. Look up here at A, B, and C, or look at your paper, A, B, and C. Which are the 2 that you should be able to just boom, boom, boom do? B and C. B, the area of B, this is problem B, the area is going to be what? 1/2, 1811, sine 61. Done. Automatic, that's the formula, 1/2 side, sine. So 1/2 times 11 times 18 times sine 61. 86.59. Is that okay? Which other one is going to be a boom, I have it done? C. What's special about C? all three sides. So now I'll use Heron's formula, which remember is a radical with 4 numbers in it. This is C. What goes in the first blank? What goes in the first blank? Half the perimeter. So the perimeter looks like it's 28.
14.
So this is 14. Every time I grade these papers, I have people putting 28 in there. No. The semi-perimeter goes in there. 14. Then what goes in the rest of the parentheses? 14 minus the sides. So don't put 8, 9, and 11. It's 14 minus 8, 14 minus 9, and 14 minus 11. That's Heron's formula. And I got 35.50. What do you think? Are you okay with that? Now, whoa, we're not done. We have one more problem to do. We have to do problem A. Now, what's wrong with A? It doesn't have what I need, right? I need this, or I need this. So what am I going to have to do here? I'm going to have to find that angle. So 180 minus 47 and 81. So this is 52. So sine 52 over 6 equals sine 81 over P. For example,
Take that answer and plug it back into the half.
well, I'm going to find that answer. So P sine 52 equals 6 sine 81. Have a little self-control, people. So now I have P, 6 sine 81 divided by sine 52. So this side is 7.52.
Yeah.
So now, look what you have right up here. So I can do 1/2 side times sine 47. So 1/2 6 times 7.52 times sine 47, 16.50 is my area. Now, we have just taken the whole test except for the word problems. So this should be doable if you're practicing. If you're turning in homework for early credit, it's due tomorrow. Regular homework is due on Monday. If you have my calculator, I need it back, please. This is 4. Here's 1. When you got 1. Who else has my calculator? Okay, hang on.
I don't know.
Who else has my calculator? I got one more out there from all those guys. Tomorrow morning, yeah.
I just have to say you're set 15.
For memorization, it takes like 5 minutes. So time it accordingly. Yeah. No, you're only taking this word 14. You're going to use all that, you have to put parentheses and then 14. So 14.
And
That closes the
same
times
number.
6 times 5 times 3. Yeah.
I didn't get
What could be I was wrong? What could be I was wrong?
Is that state ready right there at the top? Is that state ready?
You found one.
That's a state champ
This
on
is
the
the
beach.
issue. My answer is
Huh?
right.
That's me up, bro.
You second sign those potential two answers, that's why we have those. So I always redo the problems.
Yeah?
Hey, sign.
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 Big A, little A.
Okay.
You will always get the
Alright.
right answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get the wrong.
Alright, but we're not doing possible triangles, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
not doing possible triangles.
Law of Science.
This one?
Yeah, flip it over.
Alright, so if you're trying to find the C, what do you do?
C, so
It's the angle.
did it give you the angle of C?
No.
Yeah, got it.
Oh, it did.
It gave me these three.
Yeah, you guys have to take care of business. Yeah. Well, yours,
How do you find
this
the
one you might want to give yourself 10 minutes for.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see this.
Sine 42. Sine 42 is A, 42.
Over.
You're trying to find sine, the angle of B. So
But we have to find this angle first.
No, it doesn't matter. You can find whatever angle.
So how do you figure that out?
This one?
Yeah.
Then you
They
do
all gave me
sine. Then you do sine 65 over
C.
No. Like, how do you find this angle? Like, they didn't give me this.
Oh, because everything equals to 180. The angles equal to 180.
74 plus 73.
42.
Thank you. I
180
wore my heart
minus-
jumper for you people.
minus that.
Check it out.
55.
Don't wear the heart jumper very often, but today's a special
And then,
day.
if you were trying to find an
Oh
angle,
shoot, I should have turned off.
Dude, the only thing you need to worry about is what is it? When you do negative sin, so it's sin